Yes, guys. Hello and welcome back to another Spurs-related YouTube video and podcast. I hope everyone's doing very well. Today, we've got another transfer update, and yesterday the video did amazingly well. Over 100 likes, nearly 2,000 views, crazy numbers, and we really do appreciate it. So, can we do the same again today? 100 likes. Can we get the views? Let's see. But the best thing you guys can help us with is by smashing that like button and smashing that subscribe button. We are just a few subscribers now away from 2,000 subs, which is crazy to think. And we really appreciate all the support. I'm going to do a keyword. I know I forgot it yesterday. I'm so sorry, but I'll get that secret word in today. But let's not waste any time. Let's ask Andre. How's he doing? Andre, how you doing?
I am doing well. As always, I am very excited today. It's a very heavy center back driven video for you guys.
Yeah, love it. Can't wait to get into things. Can't wait to hear about the changes in situation. Tapsoba, Van der VEN. Let's get into things, Andre. Let's start off with the first talking point.
Perfect. So as we've been talking about that shopping list, I say it again. It's the center backs. It's that time to get those reinforcements, and it looks like we're doing that right now by now contacting Tapsoba. They're finally talking to him, trying to inquire how he feels about a move to Tottenham. Fabrizio Romano was saying how the deal is on. They are looking towards seeing what he can bring to the club. And, there's been so much stories about Van de Ven, but I was starting to get worried about potentially not even bringing in Tapsoba.
Yeah, exactly. From what I've sort of seen in discussions on Twitter from various fans in the fan base, I get the feeling it's going to be Van der Ven and Adarabioyo or Tapsoba and Longley. And the reason why is because Van der Ven is a naturally left-sided player, so you either get Van der Ven or Longley, and then the thinking is, or do you put your eggs in the right centre-back cover basket? Tapsoba obviously can play left centre-back as well, but he's a little bit more of a player, whereas Van der Ven is naturally a left-footed player. So people are saying, is it going to be Van der Ven and Adarabioyo, or is it going to be Tapsoba and Longley? Be interesting to see what happens. Be interesting to see out of Van der Ven and Tapsoba, which one does happen first, if at all. It looks like Van der Ven. I'm sure we'll move on to that. But yeah, it's good to hear that it's back in talks. But don't forget, with the goalkeeper situation, we agreed personal terms with David Raya, and then that was almost a smokescreen to then go and get Vicario. No one else seemed to be interested in him, and we got the cheaper option. So maybe it's similar. We'll get personal terms done with Tapsoba, and then we'll go and get Van der Ven, who's cheaper. I don't know.
Yeah, as they've been doing with almost every single signing, they first talk to the player. They see what works best for them. They personally agree with them. They find whatever contract would work. And then they move on to, They move on to then talk to the clubs to see what the transfer fee can be, right? I guess that step's usually the hard one for us, right? But so far hasn't been that bad. The thing is, though, we have seen sources before say that they value Tapsoba at about 50 million. So I could see how Spurs might be a little bit scared about that number, especially because of all the money we've already been spending. But I did see an Alistair Gold post saying how at this stage of the summer, at least, it's about choosing between VEN and Tapsoba, which, again, don't be alarmed. It's about this stage of the summer. I think it's just about seeing who can go to preseason. I think Postecoglou wants at least one new defender in so that he can train under him before preseason and bring him with him. However, the rest of the season, in terms of the summer, we'll see what happens. But what did concern me is just before recording this, I saw Apollo Keefe comment saying that they're not going to sign both, and it might just be one or the other, and they're weighing up the options, which to me kind of gives me the impression of what happened with Raya.
Exactly that. It seems like the marquee signing at centre-back is either Tapsoba or Van der Ven. Guys, let us know which one you'd prefer. Is it Van der Ven or Tapsoba? Slightly different players. But I just would love them both. I think if we got them both, I'd be very confident going into the new season. But it seems like it's going to be one or the other, and then potentially a backup like a Longley or a Adarabioyo. Let's see what happens. Let's move on. Let's talk another centre back. As we said, we've got plenty of centre backs to talk about today. And yeah, what's up next, Andre?
Perfect. So the next one, of course, is Van de Ven. I mean, who else are we going to talk about? The big thing going on now through, I guess you could say, through Charlie Eccleshare, The Athletic, is that we have sort of Spurs are finally closing in on that transfer fee. We weren't sure about it yet. We did see this number yesterday, but we didn't want to actually confirm it here until we saw tier one sources speaking about this, because we just want to give you reliable news, guys. 30 million pounds looks like is the number. And I mean, it's a little higher than what I thought, but I think you guessed it, right, James?
Yeah, I did say 30 to 35 million, so it does seem that I was fairly right. But listen, there might be some add-ons as well that take it to 35, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, so again, doesn't mean that this is exactly the transfer fee that it's going to be. They still haven't actually come to an agreement yet, those two clubs. But Van de Ven has said, according to Alistair Gold, that he wants to come to Tottenham. He has told his agent, he has told the club, and it's why Wolfsburg are now discussing with Spurs and being very open about what the transfer fee could be, because this player wants to wear the shirt. So we'll see what happens. Postecoglou has already spoken with him, told him about his plans. And I mean, based on the videos I've seen, Postecoglou just knows the right words to get you motivated. So I can't imagine what he has said to Van de Ven.
Yeah, exactly that. 100% agree. It does seem like he's becoming our priority signing. It does seem like, if I had to guess who we get out of the two, it's Van de Ven. It's obviously the transfer fee is looking like it's going to be agreed, and yeah, it seems like everything's ticked here. The personal terms already agreed with Van de Ven. It seems like this is the signing that's almost not definitely, but almost certain to happen.
Yeah, it's almost over the line, but again, this is giving me the Raya vibes. Like, I don't know. For all we know, we do come to an agreement with Tapsoba, and then we ditch Van de Ven, which would be very sad, because I'm pretty sure most of you guys would agree here. I was kind of under the impression we were going to get both.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Like you said, the Paul O'Keefe comment on Twitter today does seem to be right most of the time. Suggests we're only going to get one of them. So let's see what happens. I'm sure there'll be more news again tomorrow and the next day. So let's see what happens on that front. Guys, obviously, if you're enjoying these little transfer updates, do subscribe. We do them daily. We'll do updates as soon as we know more for you guys. And I know I've had comments on Twitter from people saying it's great. It's a great watch, these updates while walking the dog, little 10, 15, 20-minute videos. And it always makes my day when I hear these comments. So do smash a comment and let us know what you guys think on this talking point. And yeah, obviously smash the like button as well. And I'm gonna throw in the keyword before I forget, Andre. 9 minutes in. I know we've still got a few more minutes, but I'm gonna throw the keyword in today because I forgot yesterday, which is VDV in capital letters below. Van de Ven, VDV. Smash a little VDV comment with maybe a key or something, just so I know it's the keyword and you guys are still watching.
Perfect. Glad you didn't forget this time. But let's move on to the next point.
Exactly.
Let's move on to Adarabioyo, and it looks like he's not out of the talking points yet. It looks like we are continuing to look at him. We're still interested in him, and the deal will be very dependent on who leaves. Alistair Gold has said that we are listening for Sanchez sort of bids. We're looking for Rodin bids, and I mean, a few episodes ago we talked about how Sanchez, 15 million, not bad. Have not heard anything about Rodin yet, and I mean, we'll see what happens with him. I can't imagine he'll go for much, but we'll be surprised if something does come around. But the big one is they are open to hear bids for Tanganga as well, who has been struggling for first team minutes. And I can't imagine that someone, any player really, they want those first team minutes regardless of what club they go to. So maybe some club will come around very soon. If they do that, that's when this twist comes into mind when it comes to the Adarabioyo deal, because he would count as a homegrown. We would be losing a homegrown with Tanganga, and this would be the guy to fill that slot. So it really is just up to see who leaves before this one sort of kicks around. Even more so, actually, Tier 3 sources are mentioning that they might inquire about him later this week to see test the waters a little, just so they're a bit more prepared if a Takega bid does come in.
Yeah, I feel like Adarabioyo would be around £15 million, maybe slightly more. Obviously, the English homegrown sense of that, and like you said, Andre, if we're getting rid of Tanganga, definitely need a homegrown player replacing him because we're already quite tight on that quota anyway. For the the amount of players you need homegrown, so it seems like if I was to guess now, I think we'll get Van der Ven and Adarabioyo, and I think Tapsoba will be too high of a fee. By Leverkusen will probably want 50 million, as we spoke about. So technically, Van der Ven and Adarabioyo would be around £50 million, whereas Tapsoba himself is £50 million, which is why I think if I had to guess which option we'll go for, I think it will be the last two we've talked about, Adarabioyo and Van der Ven.
Yeah, I would agree. So at the same time, I mean, I don't even really want to talk too much about Longley, but it is good to mention that, again, just reiterating what was said yesterday, the Barca president, Laporte, he's very, I guess, confident that we're going to get some sort of deal for him. Look, if we do get these two, Longley better cost less than 10 million. I don't want him at this club if he's going to cost more than 10 million and he goes for a high wage. Hell no. Hell no. I'd rather just these two, and then we save that money and it goes towards another player later on.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. If we're paying over 10 million for Longley, I know that there was a lot of upset comments yesterday saying why are we even getting Longley, let alone the fact that he could cost 10, 15 million is beyond a joke. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about anything else on Adarabioyo that we need to obviously know.
Well, no, that's all the sort of news that's come out right now. But just to quickly line it up here, so if, let's say we did sell the ones we wanted to, and we got these deals over the line, and no Tapsoba, we would have Romero, Van de Ven as starters probably, Adarabioyo, Dyer, and Longley as your backups. What do you think of that?
I'd still be worried going into the season, to be honest with you.
Actually,
Eric
don't forget
Dyer incompetent. Eric Dyer incompetent. Longley makes mistakes, less mistakes than Dyer and Sanchez. Van de Ven could be class, but could also be very inexperienced, along with Romero, who is rash and needs a better season. There's no hiding away from that. And who was the other one you mentioned? Adarabioyo. I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about him. Fulham fans say he's pretty solid, but how good is he? That's my honest thoughts. I'd say that roster of 5 centre-backs,
don't forget
I'd rate
Davies.
7 out of 10, and I'd still be hesitant to give it a 7 just because of how unconfident I'd be in those backup options.
Right, but again, just referring to it again because I want you to validate this. Don't forget Davies.
Exactly. Like, how many paper over the crack seasons does this guy have in him left? I mean, I don't mind Ben Davies, right? And I don't think he's on my top 5, 6, 7 players to leave the club. But if we're actually counting Ben Davies as a backup left centre back, then we're not serious this season. We'd be serious if we use Ben Davies as like a utility player when maybe the first team player is injured and maybe the backup needs to come off or whatever. Then you put Ben Davies on, or maybe even at left back very occasionally. Ben Davies shouldn't be our starting left centre back, let alone our backup left centre back, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know what the SpursRelated was watching are thinking, but yeah, Longley as backup maybe, but I know again a lot of the SpursRelated aren't Longley fans. So when you mentioned Laporte there, my heart skipped a beat because I just love Laporte, but it's never going to happen. And it's just I feel like we should have gone for him, but apparently he didn't want to join Spurs. So there you go.
Yeah, that's okay. 2 heartbreaks: Laporte for you, Pau Torres for me. Let's not talk about that anymore. It's over the bridge, under the bridge, however you call it. But guys, let us know, what do you think the center back options should be for this upcoming season, the starters and then the backups. Let us know in the comments. But let's move on to the last talking point, James. And this is a small one. because I know some of you have been a little bit concerned because we had the here we go for Solomon and then everything went quiet again. He showed up super quick and just disappeared again. His medical has been rescheduled to Thursday, so no big deal. Fabrizio Romano said today, totally fine. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but yeah, it's just been rescheduled. That's all it is. It was supposed to happen today. I'm sure the minute that medical is done, which I'm sure he'll complete, then he'll be announced as a Spurs player. So, tiny little update for you guys in case you were worried what happened with Solomon.
Love it. There you go. Bang. Medical coming Thursday, and we'll have another announcement, I'm sure, later this week, maybe on Thursday or Friday, perhaps. But guys, we whizzed through that, and there was actually quite a few updates. So yeah, let us know if you put that secret comment in, that keyword. Let us know your thoughts on the centre-back options for this year, like Andre asked. Let us know what you thought of these videos. Any feedback's welcome. Smash that subscribe button, please do. It does help us out massively. 100 or so subs away from, I think it's 120 subs or something away from 2K. And let's try and get 100 likes again, guys. I know you can do it. 100 likes the last 5 videos. Let's make it 6 in a row. Let's keep that streak up. Andre, great work as always. Great work on the news. Guys, as always, remember, come on, you Spurs!